Hello. Hi. Hello from Australia. Hi, Ariel. Hi, Nico. You two are prompt. 9 o'clock on the dot. Ha, how about that? Well, hello, Erica. Hello. You guys come on in the room. It's Mystical Monday. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, you've been patiently waiting for Mystical Monday. You only got to wait 7 days, right? It's once every week. That week goes by like that. Hello, angel face. Hello, Patricia. Oh, hi, Camarcus. I figured that was you. I didn't want to assume. Thank you for joining me tonight. Pat, you say, how am I doing? I am doing great. The day started off slow, then it got hectic, then it slowed back down. So it was up. I mean, it was down, up, down, up. So it's been one of those days, but that's all right. We ended on the upswing. We'll take it. David, good PM to you too. 9 did come fast today, didn't it? You should have seen me running. I was going, ooh, I got 15 minutes. Let me move quickly. Hello, Denise. Hi. That's because we're not tuned into time anymore. Look, time, the concept of time is leaving us. That's what it is. Woohoo. That's a good thing. You guys, I don't even wear a watch anymore. Who wears a watch? Does anybody wear a watch? You guys probably wear watches. I don't even wear a watch. And I can't say I'm completely not cognizant of time, but we have cell phones now. And you just look on your phone for the time. So, yeah, I can't think of the last time I wore a watch. Well, hello, V. Hello, hello. You all better come in this room tonight. Look at all these people coming in this room. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, you still wear your watch, Denise? That's okay, honey. Wear for fashion, if nothing else. I may throw one on just for fashion if I'm trying to look real exquisite. But on a daily basis, no, don't do it. Yay, yay, yay. You guys are on time. I'm going to, I wait like 2 or 3 more minutes to get the people coming in. I'm so glad you guys like join me on these mystical Mondays because when you like provide or create content in a certain area like I do, like spirituality, you're kind of tapped in on all social media sites in terms of other content creators that produce the same type of content. And when I say this uh, this area is saturated now. It has come leaps and bounds since I originally started my awakening process in like 2008ish, 2006, 7, 8ish. It was not like it is now. I mean, it's so many creators out here now doing spiritual stuff. And I realize I'm just a pebble, literally a pebble in this big kind of sea of creators. And so it made me really have a gratitude towards you guys because you have a plethora of people to choose from, and you choose to come here with me. And so that is so big to me, just because it's just It's not like before where you could like count on your hands or your fingers, I'm sorry, how many people were kind of doing this kind of content. It's everywhere. And I don't know if it seems like that because I'm tapped into this area. So I'm kind of inundated with like spiritual stuff on all of my platforms, but it's a lot of people. A lot of people out here, a lot of good people that are producing some good content. So, yeah, I think it's great. The more the merrier. It just goes to show collectively as a planet how we're moving forward, which is so good. Let me ask you guys this question before we get started. So, you know how we always talk about how the television is the television, and how nothing on television is, hello, Mike. Nothing on television is usually real. It's usually placed in a certain frequency to keep us in a certain frequency. Well, do you guys feel like these social media platforms are going to be our new television? Or do you feel like it's going to be the new wave of like higher frequency spiritual type movement um, of um, mode or entertainment for us now to go to in place of the television? I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that because I just wonder if we move from the television to now these platforms, where the platforms then become television, and where we take those concepts and just recreate them in a new form. Mike says already is both high frequency and television on social media. You're right. I guess you can say that. It's just that you can have more access to higher frequency stuff maybe on the platforms than you can on television, because television is, as we know, is pre-programmed stuff designed to keep you at a certain place. So yeah, I guess it can't be exactly like television, because you're right, you do have more opportunity for higher frequency type programming on the social media platforms. So yeah, you guys got to get the spiritual essence of everything happening in your lives. I mean, YouTube is called YouTube. So that should have let you know it was going to be part of the movement towards providing an avenue to share higher frequency spiritual movement towards the new earth type information just by the name of it. It was a big hint right there for those of us who are awakened. We can tell. So yeah, all of this stuff down here on earth always has a higher meaning once you look at the titles and really become aware of what's happening. Okay, one more minute and then I shall get started, people. Somebody told me one time that it was rude for me to take drinks of water during these lives. My response to that is you try talking for an hour straight and not have to take a sip of water every now and then. It's very difficult. And as you guys know, when I'm talking, sometimes I'm very animated, sometimes I'm very loud. So I use every vocal cord and muscle in my throat to project my message to you guys. So if I stop once or twice, that's pretty good. Because I could be stopping like every 5 or 10 minutes at the rate I go. So sorry if that bothers some people. Eh. All righty, and one more minute, and then here we go. Here we go. I got my shirt on. You see my name today. You know who I am. Look at that. Dr. Dawn Harris, discovering your inner light. Probably backwards to you guys, but V says, that's crazy. Rude. What if you got cotton mouth? Drink your water. Thank you, honey. I'm going to drink it. I'm going to drink it. Hello, Brenda. Welcome. You're on time. I haven't started yet. Okay, I'm getting ready to start now. So here we go. Dun, 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 dun. It's Mystical Monday. I need some applause in the background. I am Dr. Dawn Harris. For those of you who are new and who are returning, I am an intuitive guide and spiritual messenger. And what that means is I am the go between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. I'm the one in the middle relaying messages from spirit through me to you. On Monday nights, I do it in a forum, a live forum where I speak to the collective regarding messages that I am or have received from spirit to direct to you. I also provide one on one sessions where I introduce you to your spiritual team. I act as the go between your spiritual team and you, the higher dimensional spiritual beings that are assigned to you right now during your life's journey, that are trying to give you nudges and little whispers and guidance as you move forward on your journey. Some of you can hear them, some of you can sense them, but most of you sometimes need confirmation from them in terms of where you are. And so that's what I do. I tell you information that they have for you, and I introduce you to your team and let you know who's on there. Nico says, yes, your one on one sessions are amazing. Thank you, Nico. Your session was actually amazing. I remember it very vividly. And so I encourage you guys to take a look at my website at www.discoveringyourinnerlight.com. The link is in the About section on my YouTube page. And you can read all about me and the services I provide. I guarantee you, once you have a session, I don't think you'll regret it. Knock on wood, not giving myself any jinxes or putting any bad luck on me, but I haven't had anybody that really hasn't been happy or content with their session. So if that tells you anything, just give it a look and see if there's anything that might interest you. Okay. All right. So I got that out of the way. So let's get moving. All right, so you guys see, I got my hands on my hips today. I'm going to try not to talk with my hands today because I've looked at old videos and I'm a hand talker. I get all into it with my hands and and I noticed that a lot of other spiritual teachers talk with their hands too. So I'm doing an experiment tonight. I'm going to see how long I can like hold my hands back, down, and away and not move them as I speak to you guys and convey my spiritual information. Oh, thank you. Camarco says my one-on-one sessions truly are amazing. He says he would encourage everyone to get a one-on-one session. His was amazing this past weekend. Yes, it was, Camarco. And thank you for giving me your time and your trust this past weekend. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm saying these comments out loud because Camarco brought to my attention that some people can't see these comments because if you're on the phone, you have to have the app downloaded to know what we're kind of talking about. And so I didn't realize that. So some of you may be lost when I'm reading or saying stuff. So I'm kind of just trying to narrate as I go. Okay. So that's why I'm stopping and saying what the comments are. Okay. Now let's get going because I want to give some encouragement today for the awakened ones. This is your night. I am finding in my sessions that you guys are getting burnt out, you're getting concerned, and you're getting lost now in this shift. All right. I told you guys like 2 years ago, there was this big like push towards identifying who was one of the chosen ones. And that was the phrase, the chosen ones. You know, like it was a special group of human beings that were chosen to awaken and to ascend and to kind of be leaps and bounds above the rest of the humans. Okay. So I told you guys, I said, I really don't like that phrase because it makes it feel kind of separatist. Like there's one group, there I go my hands, you guys. Oh, I did it already. It makes it seem as if one group is more spiritually developed than another. And in some ways, that is true, in that your soul may have been here more times than someone else's. But I never wanted to use that phrase because it makes some feel like they are not equal to or caught up or on the same level as others. So I never use the phrase chosen ones, okay? But I am going to use the phrase awakened ones tonight because now that is very applicable because there's such a huge amount of us awakening at this moment in time. And you guys are all going through and experiencing what I call awakening growing pains. So let's go through these awakening growing pains because I don't want you guys to feel lost or alone. Okay. Now, first thing I want you to understand, as I've had to say over and over again in my one on one sessions, you are awakening. As you are awakening, you cannot make the whole world awaken with you. Doesn't happen that way. You may want to, you may feel the need to, but you cannot do that. And you cannot judge anyone or anyone just because they're not where you are in your understanding, and you can't drag them into where you are. Please be mindful of that, because when you do that, you keep yourself in a state of third dimensional thinking and way of being. Don't do that. Recognize you may have to go this alone for a while, okay? Until you kind of get drawn to your soul tribe, because it's going to happen, but it's probably not going to happen while you're going through your growing pains, okay? Because you're working on getting you together before you can start pulling in those that are of like mind and frequency. So keep that in mind. It'll be lonely for a minute. Most of you have gone through your spiritual awakening and you want to share your gifts, because a lot of you are realizing that you're more psychic than you've ever been. You're also realizing that you are starting to like have supernatural abilities happen to you. You're clairvoyant. You can see things in your head. You're starting to be clairsentient. You can feel feelings around people. You're starting to be claircognizant. You're getting these thoughts out of nowhere that you don't know where you're getting them from, but they're divine knowledge and wisdom. And you want to share this information, but nobody wants to listen to what you've learned. Nobody's listening. Guess what? As you're going through it, shut up. Keep it to yourself. Do it independently, because what's going to happen is when you express this to those that are not of like frequency, you're going to find yourself sliding back and down and feeling the need to try to assimilate, to accommodate those around you. Don't do it. Pull yourself back into a place of isolation if you need to, and just keep and hold your peace as it relates to you and where you are. You got to get into the mindset that you are all about you right now and your spiritual growth. Okay. All right. So you're in this place of isolation. Life is falling apart. Nothing's going right. Nothing feels right. And I shouldn't say nothing's going right, because everything is going right, but you're interpreting it as things are not going the way you would like them to go. Okay. Remember that dark night of the soul. You must go through that as you move forward, as you go through the awakening process. That dark night of the soul, remember, it pulls up everything that subconscious mind of yours is storing and holding and bringing it up for transmission for you to deal with. Okay. So you're going to feel like things are not going the way they're supposed to. When you feel that, you know you're on the right track. Keep going through it. You're going to feel a disconnect between your old life and the current moment. That's perfect. Remember, you are moving into a new dimension. You're shifting realities. But as you're doing that, you're going to probably find yourself being caught in between two worlds. How many of you are caught in between two worlds right now? Meaning you're aware that there's something bigger going on right now. You're aware that your old reality doesn't suit you, but because you're trying to do what I talked about 5 minutes ago, trying to accommodate, okay, assimilate into and accommodate, you are moving back and forth, back and forth. It's getting you all discombobulated, okay? Because you're trying to fit in both realities. That's normal, okay? Now, when you get caught in between these two worlds It makes you, or it hinders your ability to allow yourself to assume your new identity. Take me, for example. Took me a long time before I could say I'm an intuitive guide and spiritual messenger. I couldn't say that because that was not something that you could say freely and be accepted in the culture and environment that I was in. So I had to keep that to myself, okay? And go in between two worlds and be the way I thought I should and was supposed to be around those who meant a lot to me. Okay. So I was going back and forth. You're not going to be able to do that for long. Okay. And I wasn't even operating in the frequency we're in now. The frequency we're in now is not going to allow you to do that. Your body, your mental and emotional state of being will not allow it. Okay. You will literally feel as if you are going through depression, a serious depression. Okay. So when you realize you're floating between the two, you're trying to be one way to accommodate the group you're around, okay? And you're feeling another way, be aware of it and pull out of it, ease out of it slowly. You say, "How do I ease out of it?" Okay, let me share my experience. What I started doing was I started opening up and saying, I feel as if I'm somewhat psychic. That's what I started telling people. I'm starting to see things at before they happen. Okay. People can accept that, like that you got a tinge of psychicness. That's acceptable, right? And I knew this. So I started out with just a little tinge, a little teaser to people of what was happening to me, something I knew they could relate with. Now, granted, now let me tell you guys, I was in another frequency and energy than you guys are. You guys are in a different energy right now, but 12 years ago, this wasn't the energy. So I had to ease into it slowly. And so as I eased into it, people started looking to me for some type of guidance because that resonated with them when I said I was kind of experiencing psychic things. Okay, that was acceptable, and I was able to assimilate slowly but surely who I am into other people's reality based off their conditioning of the psychic being, psychic concept. You guys don't have to do that now, okay? I'm not saying what I did was right then. That wasn't right. I still compromised. I'm telling you how I eased into it. When if I had it to do over again now in this energy, in this moment, I don't think I would have eased in it towards the group I was trying to stay in. I think I would have eased away from the group and started to be more of myself. You see, I was trying to accommodate because I felt like if I didn't accommodate, I would lose the connection with this group. I wouldn't have done that now where I am now. Because in the long run, you will realize if you have to sacrifice who you are to keep others in your life, that's never good. That's never the right path. I didn't know that then, though. I didn't know then what I know now. So when you feel like you're changing, you're trying to ease who you are into the conversation so people can accept and love you, check yourself. Check yourself and move back. Step back and get into you more. All right? Now, when you are going or you're having your awakening, okay? Because I don't want you guys to slip, slide, fall down, and you know, hurt yourself, so to speak. Remember, when you do this, you're going to hold on to some of the programming that you've been taught. You have no, it's no way around it. You just will because you're conditioned. It's in your DNA. You're going to hold on to the programming, except now you're going to be aware of when you're in the programming. You see? Just like now, I can tell you without a doubt, I was slip sliding in and out realities just to try to fit into a group. I was in the programming. I see that. So now I don't do that. Okay. So you're going to slide in and out of the program, but now you're going to be aware when you do it, and you're going to try to lessen the frequency that you do that, how often you do it, because you're going to do that. You just are. Okay. Now, I want you guys, some of the comments so far. Someone says, um, so true, no longer resonating with certain people. Somebody else says they're guilty of this. Don't use the word guilt. Don't put that word on you, because it's not guilt. You are in this programming, or you have participated in the programming. Not a bad thing, not a wrong thing, not a guilty thing. Okay. It's part of us letting go of who we were. Okay. And so as we let go, we're going to feel, I'm glad she used that word guilty, because you're going to feel somewhat in a guilty way. But when you do that, become aware of that feeling of guilt and realize that's just your ego, the program ego, trying to hold and keep you in the program. Okay. As you are awakening and you are in between these realities, this is what I want you guys to do. And I always stress this: you must follow your intuition during this time. Okay. Because most of you, once you become awakened, well, all of us, not most of you, all of us, we become aware that we should be doing something, and we want to do it, and we want to do it now. Because you guys are letting me talk with my hand. Why didn't you stop me? Okay, let me put my hand down. Okay. Once you become awakened to the fact that you came here to do something. So when you become aware of that fact, you want to do something, and you want to do it now, and you don't know what it is, and you want to learn and tap into your gifts. You want to get your gifts fine tuned, and you're ready, set, go. Like I'm ready to make it happen. Understand your intuition and your higher self is only going to roll out to you the things that you need at that moment to move you towards making it happen. You will never get all of this at one time. It is a process. So never feel like you are behind. You are moving at your soul's pace, at your higher self's pace. Understand you are different. You don't need to fear being different, because that's the biggest thing that's holding us into having difficulty detaching, because we have a fear of being different. You need to fear being the same. That's what your fear should be right now. Fear being the same as everybody else. Fear of being different is no longer existing, because that's what you're striving for. You're striving for being different, standing out, being unique, and being on your individual chosen path path. Goodness. Being in the same as the collective is the old energy. It is the old paradigm. It is the old way of being. So now that is my big awareness, my ding, 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 ding. When I realize I'm doing the status quo, or being the way everybody else is, or thinking the way the masses are thinking, I know I need to get back in alignment. I'm off. Okay. Because we are not at the place of being where the masses are functioning at a higher level of frequency and a state of awareness. We just aren't there yet. All right. So remember that. Don't fear being different. I want you to fear being the same. All right. Now, don't or stop doing things to fit in, because when you do that, you're depriving yourself of your gifts. Many of you come to me in the one-on-one sessions and you ask, what are my gifts? Like, I know that I am being turned on by the universe. I'm learning and experiencing things, but I'm not sure about my actual gifts. Well, guess what? Your gifts don't develop if you are depriving yourself of them. And what do I mean by like depriving yourself? Meaning you um you allow yourself, okay, let's go back to what I just said a few minutes ago. You allow yourself to accommodate. When you try to accommodate the masses, your gifts can't come into play because you start functioning in a third dimensional way of thinking. A third dimensional way of thinking does not allow for an awareness of gifts, spiritual gift abilities. Okay. When you're in the third dimension, remember your focus is just on fitting in and being like everybody else and not kind of ruffling any feathers and not bringing any attention to yourself. So if you're in that state of being, there's no way you can turn on your clairvoyance and be able to see with your mind's eye, or turn on your clairaudience and be able to hear beyond the physical realm, or turn on your clairsentience and be able to feel, the emotions and feelings and spiritual presence of those around you, or your claircognizance, a divine knowing of downloaded information that is being sent from you, from divine wisdom and knowledge. You can't even get into all that if you're so busy trying to assimilate. Do you understand that? So stop trying to fit in, because when you do that, you deprive and you like shut down your gifts because your awareness is not there in that moment. Okay. A lot of you don't realize that. And so you wonder why you get stuck in your development, okay, of your spiritual gifts and abilities. Okay. You also don't tap into your gifts and abilities when you worry about the future. Okay, I got to use my hands now, you guys. I got to. I mean, I did a good 20 minutes or 30 minutes with it, but I got to move it now. When you worry about the future, you can't stay in the moment. Your gifts and abilities are in the moment. Okay, they're calibrated for the moment. Now, you say, how are they calibrated for the moment if being psychic involves seeing the future, right? Like, duh, you know that. Well, in order for you to tap in or have the ability to see in the future, you have to be in this moment. You get it? You can't be worrying about tomorrow to see what's going to happen tomorrow. The two cancel each other out. So you have to stay in this moment so that you can be tuned in to what is to come and the guidance that is leading and directing you there. Okay. Now, when you have your awakening, remember, you're going to be in a place of isolation. I just told you guys this in the beginning. You're going to feel as if nobody understands what you're going through. Nobody even wants to listen to it. Hell, you don't even know how to explain it to people half the time. So you're going to feel loneliness, and this loneliness is going to work for your good. Okay. Now, let me tell you why it's going to work for your good, because as you are in this place of loneliness, you're going to develop a strength, honey, because when you're in this loneliness, you're going to start learning to depend on you. Who are you? Your higher self. You're going to develop courage. You're going to remove fear, because when you get into your higher self, there is no fear. You ain't got nobody to fear because you are functioning at your highest state of being, which is your God self. When you're in this state of loneliness, you're going to attract your soul tribe, because you're going to be able to see with a clear eye those who are for you and being brought to you, and those that are being repelled away from you. So you're going to start accumulating your soul tribe. So being in this state of loneliness, you know how they say um uh like some things, that all things work together for your good. This is an example of that. Okay. It may look like this loneliness is sad and bad, but it is working for your good. All right. Quick question. Ariel says, how do you stay in the present other than trying not to think and worry about the future? You stay in the present by focusing on what's happening now in this moment. Case in point, example, I have a lot of things coming up in the next couple of months. If I start to think about them, I'll get overwhelmed. No need for me to think about June, July, August, because I'm in May. Because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the day after that. So, how can I think beyond now without getting into a place of anxiety? You can't. So, you have to literally focus on the events, things, and people and feelings that you have right now that will take up all of your time, that will take up all of your energy, that will keep you in aligned with your frequency. You don't have any other moments. to worry and think about things to come if you stay in this moment. Okay. So you said, other than trying not to think and worry, there you go. Take that out. Take worry out of it. Take think out of it because tomorrow does not exist, Ariel. There's no such thing as tomorrow. There's only now. So you program and you tell yourself there is only now because there is only now. All right. That's part of our conditioning and programming to think and know the past or previous years and then the future years. There's no such thing as time, it's just now. So always remind yourself it's just now. Nothing else exists. So I'm not going to put myself in a place beyond now. All right. That should be your mantra. Stay in the now. Stay in the now. Okay. All right. Now, last week we talked about the higher self. I talked to you guys a little bit about my experience in knowing when I was connected to my higher self. And I gave you just some different examples and things like that. But this is what's going to get you through this awakening process, your connection to your higher self. I want to make sure you guys understand the higher self because I don't want you to think that the higher self is this separate entity because some people think it's another entity outside of them. You are your higher self. You are a part of um your connection to God. Your higher self is you. It is within you, connected to you. It is projecting you into this reality. Okay? You're seeing yourself through your higher self. Your higher self is the non-physical part of you. Okay? This part of you is the projection of your higher self. If that makes sense, because this is a hard concept for some people to understand, okay? But your higher self is projecting you into this reality. Now, it doesn't, your higher self never impedes upon your free will. Do you understand that? Your higher self will never say, you shouldn't go to school to be a teacher. You should go to school to be this. No, that's not what your higher self does. That's not how it works. Because you have the right to choose. That's part of your experience. That's part of this game. That's part of how this matrix is designed to work. I want you to know that your higher self sometimes wants you to figure things out on your own and decide things for yourself. It just kind of guides you towards the path that is of your highest good. Your higher self is actually, now this is going to really get you guys. Your higher self is really in the distant future. And it's actually looking back at you simultaneously, if that makes sense, because there is no future and there is no past. You have your higher self and you have you kind of like on the same trajectory. Your higher self is the God part of you, and it's looking back at you like going through the steps and experiences to reconnect with your God self. Hope that kind of resonates or makes sense to you guys. Okay. And so, as you're going through your awakening, always remember you're attached to your higher self all the time, all the time. Your higher self comes out and comes through when you find yourself in a place of not feeling worried or not feeling in the midst of this 3D reality and experience. It takes you above and beyond the physical realm. So many people in different and different um, religious concepts and ideas don't believe in the higher self. Okay. So, first of all, you have to believe in it, to understand it, to connect to it, if that makes sense. And I have to believe if most of you are believers of this shift from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, you understand that there's a higher self, you understand the purpose of the chakra system and the portals that are attached to it and how it connects you to multidimensionality. And you understand that you are evolving and shifting from your human self to your spiritual self. Um, oh, okay. I'm trying to keep up on the comments. Okay. So when you find yourself going through this awakening, always connect to your higher self. Now, I want you guys to be aware of some things because I get this all the time in my classes. People say, "Well, um how do I know if I'm connecting to my higher self or to my human self, right? That's the biggest question. A lot of you say you can't tell the difference. Well, here's the thing. Most of the time your human self doesn't have the answers to your questions or the insights or guidance that you're seeking as it relates to your life experiences. Okay. So, what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to try something. I do this in one of my classes. I'm going to see if I can do this in this type of forum because we don't have as much time, obviously, as I do in my classes. But I'm going to try something with you guys. I want you guys to, I was going to say run and get a piece of paper and a pencil. I should have told you to do that in the beginning, but we're going to do it differently. We're going to just use our head today instead of writing. If those of you have paper and pencil close by, get it because we're going to try something really quick that I want you guys to try in relation to your higher self because I want you to see and connect a little bit tonight. So, what I first want you to do, we're going to close our eyes, okay? And we're going to repeat this mantra over and over and over again. I'm going to say it, and then I want you guys to say it in your head. You don't have to say it aloud, but just close your eyes and let's do this mantra. We're going to connect with our higher self, okay? So, everybody, close your eyes. And I want you guys to listen to this mantra and then say it over and over in your head. Okay. All right, here we go. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. I will have a good life because it's my choice. Om. 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 Open your eyes. How many of you kept hearing, I will have a good life because it's my choice, even after I stopped saying it? How many of you heard it in your head? Give me a show of hands. Raise your hand if you heard it, even after I stopped saying it. Or tell me yes or no. Let's do it that way. If you heard, I will have a good life because it's my choice, As I was saying Om, even after I stopped chanting, tell me yes or no if you kept hearing that phrase in your head. Okay. Nico heard it. V heard it. Okay. So you're okay. Ariel heard it. Even though I was saying Om, your subconscious, your higher self was holding it in. Now, I want you guys to do something for me. Ordinarily in my class, we write this down, but I'm going to have you guys ask your higher self a question. Ask your higher self any question you want to answer to. Ask your higher self right now. Any question, stupid or not stupid. Ask. Just ask right now. Close your eyes and ask your higher self a question. And after you ask the question, keep your eyes closed and get the answer. Ask your higher self, what is the answer? Close your eyes, ask the question, and then ask yourself, higher self, what is the answer? Okay, you guys, first answer you got is your higher self answer. Who asked the question and who got an answer? Your higher self doesn't need a lot of time to think. It'll give it to you right there. You guys did that exercise to distract your mind and your brain and connect with your higher self. By saying that mantra, you quieted your mind, you closed off your ego part of your brain, and you opened it up for your higher self to be able to connect with you. Even after I said Om, you were still thinking about that chant and that phrase, which means that your higher self was able to come on through despite the distraction, despite what the outside stimuli gave you. You were still focused on that mantra phrase of positivity. Now, I want you guys to know that when you asked the question, you were in a higher state of being, okay? Because you literally shut off or turned down or quieted your ego part of your mind so that your higher self could come through and give you an answer to your question, okay? So that's how it works. You know it's your higher self answering you because your ego mind or your self mind, you doesn't have a chance to answer. It's pretty much shut down, closed off, and distracted. Okay. So in the beginning, a lot of people meditate first, get into a state of meditation, quiet their mind, get everything still, and then start to receive information from their higher self. Well, because we don't have time for all that during this, I showed you guys a quick way to quiet your mind and then go in and ask your higher self for guidance and get the information that you need because your ego human mind is distracted, and so your higher self has an opportunity to come on through now and communicate and connect with you. Okay, so I want you guys to start using that. Use that. It's very simple. You see, I did it in like 5 minutes with you guys. I gave you guys a phrase. You can pick any phrase you want. Okay. But I threw that Om in there because had I just started out going Om, some people can connect like that. But more often than not, that Om, sometimes if you're not in the right setting, the right space, the right amount of time given, it takes a little while to get on through. That's why I gave you, I've learned in my experience, giving you a mantra phrase to focus on and then pulling in the Om distracts your mind long enough for your higher self to come on in and be able to connect with you. Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Law says that was powerful stuff. And it's even more powerful once you do it and realize your power with your higher self. So your higher self, the God part of you, that's connected to God, that is your infinite resource for all questions and answers you need, is within you, connected to you at all times. All right. Just waiting on you to tap in. Now, ways that you block your higher self. Let's touch on that because we block our higher selves all the time and don't even realize it. When you give attention to evil, meaning like negative news and social media and relationships, you take away your higher self power because you're focusing more on the bad in these areas than the good. So when you are, we already know that the news is just not great. We know that, but we got to get into the social media a little more, you guys, because everybody's on these social media platforms all the time. You guys are following people, scrolling through stuff, listening, watching, like doing all these things. You're not understanding the effects that is having on not just your higher self, but remember, we talked about depriving yourself of your gifts. When you get caught up in the he said, the she said, the negative self talk one person says about another, or even the self talk that you have about yourself, you are pulling and depriving yourself of your gifts, abilities, and connection to your higher self. Now, you don't have to walk around being pure because we're as the driven snow, because none of us are pure as the driven snow. We're not perfect. We know that. But you have to become aware of how much of this stuff you're taking in and how you're handling what you're taking in. Okay. Because in some instances, there's just no way around some of this stuff. But as you're navigating, be more mindful of the effects that this stuff is having on you so you can like adjust things the way they need to be adjusted so that you can stay in your place of growth and awareness. Okay. Now, I want you guys to also speak positivity. We talk about that all the time. You know, people always say speak positivity over your life, but focus on being more honest, okay? Because this is the one thing you guys don't realize just because you figure or find yourself being a more honest person and you try not to lie or be dishonest, if you're around people that lie and are dishonest all the time, guess what? That's just like you being a liar and dishonest because you are allowing yourself, okay, to consume that energy and that situation and cause yourself to be in a state of blockage from your higher self. So you have to be more aware of your focus on positivity and honesty in your life. And remember what we said in the beginning, when you're fluctuating between these two dimensions, you're in the middle, okay? You are kind of being or practicing dishonesty because you're hiding the true essence of who you are to accommodate and assimilate into a group or relationship that you feel you need and you can't detach from. So that has all type of ramifications that spin and cause a domino effect with your spirituality, okay? But it's part of your growth. It's part of what you learn as you go through this ascension process. Okay? So your higher self is so important throughout this. It is so important to stay connected. All right. I always tell myself on a daily and regular basis, stay calm and connected. Stay calm and connected. When you say stay connected, it's like a superhero to your higher self. It's like you're activated. Your higher self says activated, turned on, got you. You're connected. And so when you're connected, any situation that comes your way that is outside of that connection is going to radiate in your energy field and awareness like never before until you're forced to take a step back. Okay. Brenda says, how many times are you saying the phrase? Doesn't have a certain number of times. I just said enough times to where I felt like you guys would get kind of like the picture and the feeling and the awareness of how to do it. It's individual based. It's however many times you feel you need to do it to get into that place of being and connection. And it may take you practice, may take practice. So get into that place of sitting. That's why when we say sit with yourself and connect. This is what we mean by connect. That was a demonstration of connecting to your higher self and getting the answers that you need immediately. Immediately. on the spot and learning to get used to that process to where you don't have to do all that. When you get used to the process of connecting, you don't have to sit and go home and say chants. You get it immediately. You ask, you get the download, you move on it. You don't have to wonder, was that me? Was that my higher self? Like, no, 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 no. You don't have to do that, but it takes practice. And this is one way you start the practice is by doing what we did tonight. Okay, questions, questions. We did a lot tonight. Questions, questions, questions. Questions. Oh, I didn't. Well, I'll give you guys a second or two. I know we're on a delay. What you guys can do also to practice, I tell people this who take my classes, start a journal. The best way and the easiest way to connect with your higher self is if you see it in print most of the time. So write questions to yourself all the time. Write questions that come to your mind and practice doing this exercise we did tonight to get the answers and start filling in the answers after you write the questions. Okay, now in my classes, we talk about communicating with angels and spirit guides, divine beings of light, which is similar to this, but it's a little different in that in this way, we're quieting the mind to connect to our inner mind. When you're dealing with beings like spiritual beings, it's a little different how they communicate and get it to you. Okay. Oh, thanks, Camargo. He says he's trying to think of some questions. He said, but I did such a great job. I will take that. Whenever students don't have questions, I'm not calling you guys students, but in like our three-dimensional world, right? In the classroom, sometimes if the teacher says, is there any questions and nobody has any, it means they did a good job, or it means they weren't paying attention. One of the two. It's one of the two tonight. I don't know what it is. But I just want to make sure that you guys understand and you have an awareness of yourself and your power. Um, Nico says, me too. I feel like I have a question, but then I don't because you answered everything. Okay, well, you know what? Boom. That's a good thing. That's a good, 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 good thing. Um, the one thing I really wanted you guys to take from tonight is you are not alone. There are many going through what you are going through now. You are not going to always be in this position. It is just part of it. You're going to move right through it, and you're going to get to a place of being to where you start to feel more confident, more aware, and more connected to your spiritual sense of being. And you're going to look back at this moment and remember your moment that you're in now is somebody else's story or experience that you're going to share with them to help them pull them up. So just know that this is temporary. It shall pass. It shall pass. It's just part of it. I know the feelings of loneliness. I've been there with you guys. I know the feelings of being discontent because you can't share your excitement or you can't bounce things off of other people that you're going through and that you're thinking and that you're exploring and finding out. But just understand if you're going through it now and the masses have not caught on, you are in the crowd that is probably going to be doing things to help the collective in this transition. So just get ready and be aware of your purpose and what you came here to do and what you're being directed on your path to do. Okay. All right. One more time for the people in the back, I am Dr. Dawn. If you guys are interested in one on one sessions, please visit my website, www.discoveringyourinnerlight.com. Follow me on Instagram at Discovering Your Inner Light. I always forget to say that. I actually got my analytics from YouTube. Every month, they give an analytics breakdown of the data surrounding your site. And I actually noticed that these mystical Mondays don't do as well as when I do shorts, like 10-minute videos, 5 or 10 minutes. Seems like people like the 5 or 10 minute videos. And I'm like, okay, go figure. I thought people might like more. But it looks like the analytics show that there's a little bit more flow or interaction or tuning into the shorts. I'm just not one like most creators to like plop up a 5 minute or 10 minute video like 2 or 3 times a day. You know, they'll do that all day, every day. Hats off to them, but they don't do these like 1 hour kind of class kind of format things. They do a lot of shorts. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll move to shorts. I feel like I'm too long winded to do the 5, 10 minute thing. I always have a lot to say. So it takes me more than 5 or 10 minutes. But could you imagine putting this live in a 5 or 10 minute short? I have about 6, 7 of them. But yeah, Elisa, that's it. Social media is causing short attention spans. That's what it is. That's probably what it is. People want to get the answer to their question and what they're looking for immediately. They don't want to sit here for an hour and listen to me talk. Ariel says, please don't stop doing Mystical Mondays. I truly enjoy it. Well, thank you, Ariel. You know, I'm a sucker for somebody saying, please don't stop. Please don't stop. I usually will keep going as long as you guys keep saying that. Um, but yeah, I again, what did I tell you guys? When you find yourself thinking about what the masses are doing, you stay where you are, stay in your uniqueness because you don't want to get into um being the same. That's what keeps me doing what I'm doing because I'm aware that the same is not good. So I'm going to be different. I don't fear it. Um, Camarco says he likes the longer ones too. More valuable information. Don't go short. Okay, thank you. Oh, and then Brenda says I asked for 2 days a week. You did ask for 2 days a week, Brenda, but that's team too much. 2 days a week is too much of Dr. Dawn for sure, for sure. So I appreciate all of this. I want you guys to know again, for those of you who came on later, I thanked everybody for taking time on Monday nights to come spend time with me on Mystical Mondays because you guys have so many other platforms to choose from, so many other different creators to watch and to follow. But I appreciate you giving me this moment. Please like, subscribe, share my videos. I'm easing up a little bit in subscribers, very little bit, but it's okay. I don't look at those numbers. I look at this right here, the feedback you guys are giving me. But I was telling you guys about Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Discovering Your Inner Light because I do a lot more short stuff over there. So then you'll get the best of both worlds. You'll get these long, hour-long things, and then you'll get my short stuff that I do over there. I'm starting to do mystical facts. You guys that follow me on Instagram, you noticing that I'm starting to Spirit is downloading these mystical facts to give you guys that are like 3 minutes long. You know, share this with them. Share that. So I see that's kind of a direction I'm going on Instagram. So make sure you guys get over there on Instagram and follow me at Discovering Your Inner Light. David says the masses are in the matrix. So that's why the masses are doing the shorts. You're right. Keep me on track, David. Sometimes I slide out too, and I got to slide back in. Whenever I feel like I need to get in the crowd and be the same, I always pull myself back, and then I'll get those like David that'll remind me, remember, girl, you in the matrix. You guys remember that too. It's all a part of this whole algorithm, this matrix we're in. Always remember, people don't like us to use the term game because a game implies there's an ending, there's a winner, there's a loser, but game is the best word I can use to describe it. How about that? Because that's where we're in the matrix. Okay. So if there are no more questions, I will see you guys next Monday on Mystical Monday Live, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. And please, y'all, give me my thumbs up. Okay. All right. If you guys have any questions for people who will be watching the replay, please share your comments in the comments section and let me know what questions or input you may have regarding tonight's content. It helps me. It helps me a lot. I have to know where I need to go with you guys and how to get there and what is the best way to do it. So your comments are helpful. Very, very helpful. Okay. All right. You are so welcome. The people are telling me thank you in the chat. And thank you for all of you guys who are participating in the chat tonight. It makes these a lot more easier and fun. Ariel says, everybody have a great week, and you're more than welcome, Ariel. All right. I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.